Love where you live and play with Lindsay Management. Affordable apartments and golf memberships at 9 and 18-hole courses. Buying or selling? Trust Lindsay and Associates. Serving the community for over 50 years. Lindsay, #1 in apartments, golf, and real estate.
Want to run faster, jump higher, move with more power? The Sports Recovery and Development Program at Bridges Therapy Group builds speed, strength, agility, and endurance while correcting movement issues that can cause injury. Give your athlete the edge. Schedule an assessment today at srdathlete.com.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and
just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
It is the penultimate week of the regular season for high school football. We look at some of the big games around our area, and we look ahead to the state title games for volleyball in Hot Springs on Saturday. It is Friday, October 31st, and this is Varsity Vibe Today. Welcome into Varsity Vibe Today on this Friday. I'm your host, Alyssa Orange. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are right back where we always are on a Thursday, talking high school football as we look ahead to week 9. So let's get it going with our Lewis Automotive opening drive. The focus right now for a lot of football teams around the area and around the state is just being steady with 2 weeks left of the regular season. For those teams at the top of the conference standings like Bryant and Conway and Bentonville, it's just taking care of business these next 2 weeks to set yourself up for a really good spot in a playoff and in the playoff run. For other teams that are trying to continue to get into that playoff picture, these next 2 weeks are going to be really big. And you look at a Springdale-Bentonville game, and that's what I'm saying. Bentonville wants to just be able to take care of business at home against Springdale. They've got Bentonville West next week to end the regular season, but they're really just looking to try to put themselves in the best position possible with the playoffs 2 weeks away. And then Bentonville West, they've got Fort Smith Northside this week. Northside still winless in the 7A West, and Bentonville West wants a better position in the playoffs with Bentonville next week. So really focused on just taking care of business. Fayetteville and Heritage, Rogers and Springdale Harbor. Rogers, coming off that loss to Bentonville, want to kind of just get things back going again and refocus against a Harbor team on the road. And then Mountain Home and Van Buren in the 6A West, a very interesting game. Both of these teams have one loss in conference play. Both of those were to Greenwood. And when you look at Mountain Home and just the bully physical football that they play against a Van Buren team coming off a loss to Greenwood, what is that game going to look like? I'm really interested to see which one wins out. I was a little disappointed with Van Buren's defense against Greenwood, and I get it. They got Kane Archer over there offensively for the Bulldogs, but can they bounce back? And what are they going to look like against a Mountain Home team when they are both tied 4-1 in conference play? For Mountain Home, also, they end the season with Greenwood. Going back to the 7A Central now, you look at a game like Conway and Little Rock Christian. Conway in the driver's seat in terms of where their schedule is. They are 5-0 in conference play. You've got a Little Rock Christian team that is 4-1. If you're Conway, you don't want to trip up this week with Bryant looming next week. Could you imagine Bryant and Conway ending the regular season before the playoffs start, both undefeated in the 7A Central? It's going to be very similar to that Bentonville-Rogers game we saw last week. I would love to see those two teams come together undefeated last week of the regular season and see what happens. But Conway's got to take care of business, as does Bryant. Bryant's got to take care of business this week as well against North Little Rock. Another shout out in the 5A West, Greenbrier and Harrison. Greenbrier undefeated on the season, undefeated in conference play, facing against a Harrison team that is 3-4 in conference. That one at Harrison, and that one should be a fun one. And last but certainly not least, let's head down to the 4A real fast. Give some love to Elkins and Gravette. These two teams 7-1 on the season. undefeated in conference play as well. They meet on the gridiron tonight. Excited to see how that one wraps up too. And so much exciting high school action continuing to happen around the state and around our area in all the classifications, as we've got 2 more weeks of the regular season left before the playoffs. And man, it is going to come down to the wire with some of these matchups and seeding and the playoffs. And it's bound to be fun these next 2 weeks.
The Everett difference means we are committed to giving back to the communities we serve.
When I think of Everett, I think of them more than just a car dealership.
Everett's involvement in the community is phenomenal. I see it in the police and fire department. I see it in the Boys and Girls Club.
They're just constantly giving back to the community that helped build them.
I would recommend them first, always.
We are grateful for the opportunity to serve. Discover the Everett difference for yourself.
Quick Turf is the go-to team for building championship-level sports facilities for public schools, private schools, and the entire school district. They also install beautiful backyard putting greens for homeowners. Known for lifelike, eco-friendly turf, Quick Turf handles everything from design and lighting to drainage and final landscaping. Their all-in-one approach delivers high-performance surfaces for athletes and low-maintenance greens that last for years. With preventative maintenance programs, they keep every field and green looking game day ready. Schedule a free consultation today at quickturf.com. That's QIKturf.com. Welcome back to Varsity Vibe. Today we are looking ahead to the state title games for volleyball in Hot Springs, and I am joined by JB Brazil, who will be on the call with me on some of these games along with Bobby Swafford. We are in store for some phenomenal action, JB, and it starts with the 6A on Saturday. Or we'll start with the 6A on Saturday with Fayetteville and Conway. Fayetteville going back after not getting there last year, but they have had state title after state title under Jessica Phelan.
Yeah, they're a dominant team. I mean, a lot of these 6A matchups are always fun. Fayetteville knocked off a Cabot team who a lot of people thought were going to be the favorite to make it back to the state championship game. And they handled them pretty well on Cabot's home court. So that's big, especially when you're playing at home. So you felt like Cabot had all the advantage, but no, Fayetteville prevailed, got a good program. And then on the opposite side, Conway knocking off a lot of team. People thought that Bentonville was going to be – they thought it was going to be a Bentonville-Cabot matchup. So both teams, the 2 seeds knocking off the 1 seeds. I think it really sets up for an awesome matchup on Saturday.
I was a little biased. I was hoping for another Bentonville-Fayetteville matchup. You have played twice, and Bentonville got the best of Fayetteville in both of those during the regular season. So I was hoping for a little bit of a Northwest Arkansas showdown, but Fayetteville and Conway is going to be a really fun one. Also, Farmington and Marion, and Farmington's such a fun story. They haven't lost in over a month. They went undefeated in conference, and they've got a lot of talent there that could help win them a state title.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And they've kind of shown in sports across the whole program, really, not just volleyball, have really soared over the last handful of years. So it's really cool to see the volleyball program take a huge step forward, a chance to bring home the hardware against a Marion team who historically has been to the big dance a handful of times. Mm-hmm. They got a rich history there, so that should mesh up pretty well also.
All right, let's go to 4A now. Pulaski Academy and Westside, and this should be a fun matchup too with these two teams.
Yeah, it should. You know, Pulaski Academy is just their first ever trip to the state title. Second-year coach and Jason Lambert. He's got a lot of high praise for his program naturally, but for what he has done to get them there, didn't play the sport growing up much. He was kind of after college, got into it, then got into the club level coaching, has really enjoyed that. But he's matching up with a coach who made it to the state championship last year, Coach Ziegler, with win. New program now at Westside Jonesboro, who again has a very rich history, but they haven't been to the state title game since 2012. So a program that hasn't been in a while has a chance to win it, and then a first-time ever program in Pulaski Academy.
Which always makes those matchups fun. Not that the Fayetteville-Conway ones aren't fun, but those matchups where it's going to break some records and make some history are always fun ones to pay attention to. Harding and Mansfield is our 3A matchup, and that one's going to be a fun one too, I think, because, again, just two really talented teams and two teams that are just looking to find a state title again.
Yeah, and it's always, you know, when look at these state championship games. You see teams that have been a long time. Then you have teams that's, their first time. Harding Academy is a mixture of a team that's, again, across all programs has a lot of success in a lot of sports, football, baseball, softball, you name it. Volleyball kind of coming onto the scene in a tough 3A conference stretch. Paris is a team that typically has been dominant time and time again. Well, gets knocked off. And so you got Mansfield in there, a good volleyball program. One of actually the coaches in the other classifications grew up in Mansfield. Hackett's head coach. And so she left Mansfield, coached there for a while, started the program at Hackett. So again, rich history with Mansfield, some connections there, and then Harding Academy is always good.
Well, then our 2A matchup, which I know I had to take a double take. We were both on the baseball softball calls earlier in the fall or in the spring. And I was like, oh, this is not a softball matchup. It's a volleyball matchup. But two teams and programs who just in general, from an athletic standpoint, have so much success in the 2A.
Yeah. That's right. So Hackett won it 2 years ago, softball championships. Taylor wins it last year. Now they get to duke it out on the volleyball court. But I will say, I think Hackett's probably the favorite. I mean, you actually talked about this earlier when we were on one of our calls. You kind of compare Hackett almost to a UConn women's basketball, just the dominance they've had since the program has started. That's no knock on Taylor. There's not going to be an easy victory or anything like that. But I think Taylor, hasn't been as many times as Hackett. They're going to have their hands full. But again, that sets up for a really great story, even at the 2A classification.
And that's what's so special, especially, you look at these 2A schools, smaller schools who have success, but Hackett is a team that could probably be in any classification and be competitive.
Yeah, they're
playing. So
they've beat 3 of the teams that are in the state championship title opportunity this Saturday. So they beat Westside, Jonesboro, beat Farmington, and then they beat Mansfield. So at the 2A level, and that was part of their coach's mindset, hey, let's schedule hard because that'll set us up for a good deep postseason run. And so far that's paying dividends.
Yeah, it definitely is paying off. It's going to be fun. I mean, for people who don't watch volleyball, I've said it time and time again on this show and on the podcast, get to a volleyball match. They're exciting. They're fun. They're high energy. And I encourage anyone who is in Hot Springs or in the surrounding areas, get to the volleyball matches because you're going to see some really good talent, but you're also going to see some high class volleyball.
Yeah. And to, kind of continue with that a little bit, Piper Beatty for Fayetteville committed to play at Missouri. For Conway, they've got Ren Jones committed to play at Evansville. Good volleyball program. Hackett, one of their players, actually coach's daughter, she's committed to play volleyball at the University of Tulsa. So D1 talent all over the place. And again, the stakes are so high. Emotions are out there. It's a really fun time. The way they even set it up there at Banco ZK, it really makes for a really awesome Saturday. So if you can't show up to the arena, you need to tune into Arkansas PBS Sports.
Watch us. Either watch us live or watch us on the broadcast. I'm excited. I played volleyball in high school as kind of an off sport during softball season when it wasn't happening. I am nowhere near as talented at any of these girls that are sport, so I'm excited to see it and be in awe of the sport. Thanks for joining me, and I can't wait to catch up with you on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
It is now time to introduce you to this week's SRD Performance Athlete of the Week.
I'm JJ Moore. I go to Farmington. I play football and basketball. I came here specifically to get mobility because before I came, I injured my hip flexor. And so they really helped with that. Never had an injury after that to it. Everything was perfect after that. It makes you feel like you're actually working hard and getting something out of it. Because sometimes you do stuff and it's just you don't feel much gain. But when you come here, they show you your gains. They show you where you came from and where you are now. And it really feels great.
To learn more about the program, visit srdathlete.com. That is going to do it for Varsity Vibe today on this Friday. Enjoy your Halloween. Hope you get all the candy that you want and no tricks. Thanks so much for joining us. Remember to follow along on our social media pages as well as our YouTube page and our podcast. Subscribe to both of those and subscribe to the newsletter at varsityvibearkansas.com. A special thank you to our sponsors, Lewis Automotive, Lindsay, Bridges Therapy, Everett Chevrolet, Quick Turf, L&L Metal Fabrication, and DSI Trucking. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Distribution Solutions Incorporated began providing superior customer service back in 1997 based out of Harrison, Arkansas, and they're supporting our local communities today and always looking for professional OTR drivers. DSI knows drivers by name. They're about their people, and when you work with DSI, it feels more like a family than a job, and they know home time matters. If you're a driver, check out their website, drivedsi.com. All the benefits, all the vacation time, and that home time that matters. drivedsi.com.
At L&L Metal Fabrication, strength isn't just in the steel, it's in the craftsmanship, precision, and trust we bring to every project. From small custom jobs to big industrial projects, our team has the experience and equipment to get it done right and built to last. Whether you're building, repairing, or designing something new, we'll help turn your vision into reality. Call L&L Metal Fabrication today at 479-361-9640 or visit llmetalfab.com. L&L Metal Fabrication, custom craft built to last.